Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Beastars Season 1 Episode 2. What happened last time?
Last time we had a murder right off the bat. Someone was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that he had written a love letter and he had never had the courage to give it to the girl he liked. But I guess, is the wolf the main character?
Yeah, I think he's the main character.
He is actually a good guy, and apparently it's like sort of everyone looks at him as if he's a herbivore almost, because he's just very mellow, very chill, doesn't behave in any ways that are maybe typical of carnivores. The rabbit, she is being horribly bullied. They're literally throwing stuff out of windows at her from high up in buildings and throwing water or like some kind of gross liquid on her outside. So she's not having a good time. And then at the very end, which was also at the very beginning, the scene that we saw where she was walking outside at night and then got attacked seemingly by our main character here.
Yeah, and his like instincts took over him when he like smelled her. And we don't know what the deal with that is. We're still trying to figure out like what the show's what's the point of the show, like as far as what they're trying to say. We're trying to like get to the bottom of like, you know, what it all means really, like why they're all animal people, why the production chose to do that. Was it just a stylistic thing where did they just want to do that just visually speaking, or is there something deeper going on that they're trying to say by using like animals as like a metaphor or something like that? It's going to be really cool to see how that gets going. I'm really liking the way the show looks and the way that everything's kind of going. It's really good.
Yeah, I think actually for a show with CG, animal characters are a very smart choice. It seems if you're going to have a show with animals, you might as well use CG because you don't end up in that weird like uncanny valley ever, and you don't just like that guy doesn't even look like a human because they're all cartoon animals, so there's no like, oh, that cartoon animal looks weird because interested to see what happens, how this whole attack develops, or if it's not an attack, if he's going to protect her, if that's like the instinct to protect her, or if it's to eat her and it's going to be a twilight of oh, I'm going to eat you, you smell so delicious but I don't want to.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's get into it. Watch it on Netflix. This is not a market substitute. We just provide the footage for context, but we're providing our reaction and review. You can support the official release on Netflix, and we encourage you to do so. With that, we hope you like the video and subscribe, or we're getting right in. Let's go! I wonder if all the carnivores live together.
I think that's how it is.
So it is like a sexual thing. At least it seems like it. It's being kind of implied. What the fuck is that thing? Is that like his shadow? Like his Jungian shadow?
I love that fountain is red now.
Yeah, it's cool. So I was right. He has been like suppressing that side of himself. I wonder what she's thinking through all this. Oh, the fountain's like frozen. Is that his arm or hers?
It's hers.
Holy shit. So yeah, there's some Jungian psychology in there. What the fuck? Did he break his leg? So now I'm guessing he can't perform? Yeah, fuck.
Sure.
Wishful thinking.
Why is there blood on your hand?
He's got some shit. He ties a tie really interestingly. I wonder if, do they all do that? This seems like it. Yeah, so it's all like vegan or like vegetarian, except for the fish. These two episodes should have been like together. The first two episodes.
I like that
It's all like
tree.
segregated as well.
Oh, they're tiny. Actually tiny.
It's a hyena and a fox? Or what is that? A coyote, maybe? Jesus, man.
Ow.
Of course he could beat him. Beastar.
この世界にビースターが必要な理由を考えたことがあるの気がむまい。自分を正せ。諸君、朝食に戻ってくれ。昨日の借りはこれで返したことになるか。ああ、いやいや、あんなん別にありがとうございます、ルイ先輩。来てくれなかったら俺なんとかして負ける演技をしなければならなかっただろう。いつまでそのスタイルを通すつもりなんだか。君は思ったより悪い狼のようだ。 お前は3日前に死んでいるはずだから水、風、火、死んだ万象あらゆる死者お前を殺そうとしている大丈夫
This is pretty cool.
私に任せろお前を殺すそれは私の仕事だそれまでは誰もお前に触れさせるはい一幕第5番 OK ですちょっと休憩入りますは動きが鈍い体調とかどうだ小声で言うな別に平気だ肉食のお前たちが俺を本気で襲いに来ることその全ての意味を舞台で示すんだ今回はことさら強くな部長が投資稽古止めたのくさあ俺だって出るはずだった
Red panda. Nice.
これテムのどうしますでもいつまでも衣装取っておくのも不気味だよなおいアルパカのテムはこの学校の肉食獣の誰かに襲われて死んだこの世界における最も重いご法度だだからこそみんなもうこの事件にあまり触れたがらない、あの人がさっき言っていたことの意味が分かってきたシカロルイさんが強きアドラーを演じることの意味
It's so swollen. He's fucked. He needs to go to a hospital.
付き合っているのは多分あの人だ始めよう一体どれほどの重圧かレゴシはい園芸部に花もらいに行ってって話してたの
A gardening club.
あんた少し協力仰いできてよ
Of course he's gonna go. And it's her.
食の部活ですよね
Who? The rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
だからだよ付き添いなんているかな狼が突然花を要求しに来たら怖がられるでしょう
A different smell now?
いい匂いするね
He smells the flowers and her now? Her arm's all wrapped up.
こんなに小さいウサギだったなんて魔の庭園なぜ
Does she recognize him?
I can't. I don't know.
何腹痛いやいや用事を思い出したくらいしか俺用事思い出しちゃったいや参った参った
Bastard.
戻らないとおいそうなんだけどあとはこの狼から聞いて
She seems really calm after being assaulted by this dude. Doesn't seem like she recognized him.
Yeah, I don't think I. Oh.
怖がるどころか会話する権利すら本当はないのに
So she didn't see that it was him?
Yeah, I guess not.
2年です
That's an awesome garden, by the way. Damn.
I wonder
She
if it's...
takes care of all of that by herself. Sorry, what?
No, nothing.
Look at his tail.
Yeah, I was just gonna comment on it. I was like, is that part of the school code? But no, she just asked him to not bump anything over. Is she lying? Or does she actually not remember?
I don't know.
She seems... I can't tell. And she's just like, what? Oh, this is just his thoughts of what's going on.
No.
Is this actually happening?
Is what...
Is this happening?
Yeah.
The door's open. Holy shit, this is actually... What the fuck? This is actually happening? She's not what I thought at all. Okay, then. What a way to end the episode. Yeah, this was a good episode. I said it earlier, but it feels like these were supposed to be one large first episode. Like, the way that it ended off, I feel like it would have benefited way more with it. Because I liked this episode way more than the first one. Mm-hmm. I can definitely tell that they're going for... my fear was like, okay, is this just a skin on the show? On, like, a high school drama with, like, some murder mystery? Or is there something deeper being said by using animal characters? It seems like it's moving towards that more, like, and it's really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think now that we have 2 episodes, I can say the first episode... It was really hard to place what was going on, what everything was. This one, things became a little bit more clear of, like, the carnivores are sort of being forced to not eat meat. There's no meat, because that was a question we were wondering of, do they still eat meat? Is there some sort of acceptable way for that to happen? Are there, animals in this world, which sometimes happens in worlds where there are animal characters. There are other, like, dumb animals that are considered acceptable to eat. So it is interesting that they are not allowed to have that, which then I don't know if that potentially is maybe not, like, conducive to, like...
What are you saying?
Good things of, like, if he is, like, repressing his desires constantly for, I guess, 17 years of his life. Mm-hmm. And I wonder... Are you going off to something else now? What are you saying? No, I guess I was just wondering if the whole not eating meat thing is good because it helps to, like, lessen their instincts. And, like, once they get a taste of it, then they can't stop, which maybe this murderer person, maybe it will happen again at some point, you know?
Yes, yeah. So that's, they're playing, I said it during the reaction, but they're using Jungian psychology, specifically the shadow as it's known. It's that part of you that's, like, super like, basically what he's suppressing. Basically what he saw is it's a literal shadow. They show it as a shadow, and that's what it is. That's what Jung called it. It was it's that part of your psyche that is susceptible to mayhem and, like, violence, that makes us capable of violence. Everyone has it, but particular people struggle with it more, and but there's an interesting thing that leads me to sort of where his character is going to end. His name is Legoshi. I'm not sure how to properly pronounce that, but where he's going to end up, I think, if they're following, like, the convention of what this is used for in stories, it's usually, like, because and it follows what the shadow is, what the path to like, conquering your shadow, quote unquote, in real life, because it is a real thing that people have to deal with, and it's a common, like, thing that psychoanalysts talk about, because a lot of people think, like him, that the way to handle that, because, okay, so first of all, it's the fact that we all have it means that anyone is capable of murder. We're all capable of horrible shit, even if you think you're a good person. Everyone has a shadow within them. That's a natural part of humanity. It's what allowed us to survive as a species. It makes us capable of violence, but it also is what makes us capable of doing things in order to survive, like committing violence or, doing horrible things. It allows us to like tap into the sort of animalistic part of our brain and sort of forgo our societal morality and norms in order to, survive or make progress. So we all have that within us, and some more than others. And a lot of people think that the way to conquer it is to suppress it, to act like it doesn't exist, to like lock it away literally in a cage in like the corner of your mind and keep it away from, your everyday thoughts as much as possible, and live as if you're not capable of violence and act like you're not an animal of instinct and don't have any of this going on in your head. But that's not the way that you do it, because then what happens is exactly what happened in this episode. Is people, like in real life, people go to they get the right stimuli comes to them that puts them in a situation where they can act on their dark impulses, where their shadow can sort of come up to the surface and break free. Like a lot of people get, if they're in a riot or whatever, if they're in like a mob and the mob is doing a bunch of crazy shit, and you think, oh well, I'm a good person, I'm not, you think outside of it, I'm a good person, and if I was put in this situation, I wouldn't, destroy shit, I wouldn't do horrible things, I wouldn't hurt people. But it's just that you're not, once you're given the opportunity to do it, you can act in ways that you wouldn't expect because of the shadow. That's what the shadow is. Kind of
like the whole Lord of the Flies
exactly.
type of thing.
Yeah, it's like people think they're good, but is it that you're good, or that you never had the opportunity to do real bad shit? And that's what happens when people go off to war. That's what people go off to war, and they might kill someone, or they might really hurt someone, or have to leave one of their friends behind, or they die, or they have to do bad shit in order to survive or further what they're doing. And then they go back to real life and they're like, how could that happen? That's what happens when you don't like meditate on it and understand, this is a part of my body, this is a part of what I am as a human creature or an animal, and you can't suppress that. You can't get rid of it. If you downplay it, it'll come back in a way that you don't expect, because that's what it does. So the real way to do that, and the journey that I think the character in this is going to go on, is you have to figure out how to make friends with it. You need to figure out how to because that part of you isn't going away, you have to find a way to let it out in a way that is constructive, or at least not destructive to other people. Like, that's why people, they might do martial arts, or they might do something. They find an outlet for that dark part of them, and they control it in a way, so that it doesn't like come out when they don't expect it. Because that's the wrong thing to do, basically. So that's it, and that I think is the journey that he's going to go on, because he's trying to suppress it. He's suppressed it all his life. He's constantly thinking, I can't let this out. I need to keep this suppressed as much as possible. Eventually, there's going to come a point where it comes out and you can't control it. That happened last episode and this episode. But and I think his journey to becoming a Beastar will be that, because it's an admirable quality in people who are capable, is that they have the power to wreak havoc on the world, but they choose not to, or they have it under control because it's not a dark part of them that they don't understand or that they don't want to deal with. They've dealt with it, and it's a part of their arsenal as a human, that they are capable of doing bad things, but don't, or do it to protect people, or do it in a constructive way. Use that energy well, instead of just keeping it locked away and being demure and kind of useless. So I think that he's going to take the Beastar position that Ruis is taking, or is going for, now that he's sort of damaged. I think legosi is gonna go down that path. That's my prediction of the series. Sorry to go on that crazy rant, but it's hard not to go on a rant with stuff like that, because it is like, it's real, and it's so broadly applicable, and but it's difficult to like fully dive into without fully diving into it. Anyway,
I was going to talk about, I really like the style of this show. The way that they're visually presenting it, they're doing a lot of interesting things with the the silhouette image of like the outline of his face, and
like that, yeah.
And how it's not just a straight up silhouette. his features are still there, and towards the outer edges of the silhouette, you can still see his fur and the color of that, and then, like, in the middle is the image of the scene that's going on.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I really like that, especially because they're kind of just standing there talking, and he's going on an inner monologue, but instead of just, like, him standing there every single time he has an inner monologue, standing there and the camera's just on his face. Mm-hmm. It does something a little bit different. And another time was they sometimes do like a little panel, and the rest of the screen is black, or like 2 panels. I don't know. It's
really well directed.
It's really nice to see interesting shots like that, and the same thing with the show. I don't know. It just seems like they're being really creative with it, which I really like.
Yes.
Because they're using the 3D, but not just like, oh, we have no budget and no time, and we're just going to use 3D and breeze through this. It's like, we're going to use the 3D, and we're going to enhance it with the artistic vision of the show, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that.
I like it as well. It's really well directed. And they aren't just they aren't trying to make it a 2D show, but they're using 3D to make it like cheaper. They're making it a 3D animated show and actually using 3D. Mm-hmm. And the benefits of it, and using that to their advantage, but also adding in some traditional elements, but not very many. Like, a lot of times when they do a blend of 3D and 2D, it's like way more, like when they do a 3D show, they like, oh, well, we need to, I don't know, add this flair here or there. It seems like they're going full force CGI characters. Some, like, drawings, like, a lot of the backgrounds seem to be drawn, like, far in the back, but the focus isn't on that. Most of the things there are full-on CGI, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Really good stuff. And then she gets naked in the end. I don't know what the fuck the deal with that was. That came out of nowhere. Unless we were just reading the situation because we're viewing it through his eyes and he's got his own shit going on.
No, it's because, I don't know if you caught it, but she said, oh, you're just like everyone else. I guess we'll get to it. Which is what they've been talking before of. Everyone hates her. Like, the guys kind of want to help her out, but don't, because they don't want to be associated with her. All the girls hate her because she's a boyfriend snatcher.
But how does that translate to her getting naked and offering to fuck him? What is that? I understand that she's an underdog and that people seem to be fucking with her, but I don't understand how that response or how that action is congruent with all that. I don't get. Maybe I'm just off here. Like, I don't see. Like, is that what she does to survive? Is she like offers herself up sexually to whoever? Is that what we're meant to believe? I didn't pick that up personally. If that's what it is, then fine. But I didn't pick that up.
Because what she was offering to get him food.
It doesn't sound like she is like, oh, I better offer myself up sexually or else he'll like eat me.
No, not in a fear way.
Oh, okay.
At all. Just as in she feels indebted, and this is how she pays people back for helping her. Or whatever.
I didn't get that impression.
She literally says, I see, and gets this super disappointed look on her face. And then she says, I guess you're just like the others. And then closes the window and starts taking off her clothes. Okay.
Because it seemed, I don't see, like, because, okay, so if that is what's going on, what about his behavior, like, did that, what about him made her do that? Because she doesn't seem to recognize him as the person who attacked her.
Yeah, but what if all of these guys, like, she's known as, like, the school slut now.
Okay.
And I guess kind of, like, almost like an easy
But this is the first carnivore.
This is the first carnivore,
so
but
the
herbivores do that all the time. They're just as capable of wanting to fuck her. He does a favor for her. She feels like she's indebted to him. Says, oh, do you want to go get some food? I'll buy you food. And then he's like, I don't know. He's thinking like, oh, what kind of food would impress her as a rabbit? And she's thinking, oh, well, he doesn't want food.
Yeah, he just wants did that me. So that he could. Yeah, okay. I see. Now I understand. I guess I was just, I don't know.
Yeah, not in like a predator-prey way.
Yeah.
But in He's kind of nervous and doesn't want to say it, but because she's been in this situation before, she's assuming, like, oh...
This is what you wanted all along.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I understand now.
People only do nice things for me when they want one thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense to me. So then, I guess then he's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Unless he goes along with it.
Yeah.
What I don't want with their relationship is for what I don't want for how this is going to go forward is that the only reason that happened that night, the first night when he like attacked her, that's going to be this like huge thing that he's like keeping from her the whole time, and then at the end he's going to like bring that up and admit that he like attacked her, and then that's going to be like a big contentious thing. Either she's going to be like, but we're already past that, I already care about you, or it's going to be like, Jesus, you attacked me? What the fuck? You're crazy. Get away from me. I just don't want that to be like the sticking point. I know that that they set that up to address it later, but I hope that it's not. I hope that they surprised me with how they handle that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope that as well, actually.
Because it would feel a little bit cheap if they set that up just to do exactly the most predictable thing of
like
holding that over their relationship for the entire series or for the season until like the end or past the midpoint or whatever. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, good episode.
And I did want to bring one other thing up is I don't know if she actually fully remembers what happened and she just doesn't want to cause trouble for anyone. She just wants to keep it to herself.
That could be
and go on with her life, or because they are animals and I'm not sure like how much them being animals like they're like the instincts are obviously in play here. So like was it just a survival mechanism that she forgot everything?
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to say because we haven't spent enough time with her character to like fully know how she would respond in a situation like that. But I think either are a possibility.
I doubt she'd respond like this, just based on like normal people. Like this doesn't seem like the way that a normal human would respond to like someone who attacked them physically.
Well, I don't mean she recognizes it's him. I mean like whether she remembers the attack at all or not without him in she never saw his face. She only felt the arms because she was facing the other way. Okay. And then she got up and ran. Okay. So I'm saying, is this just her responding to someone who has nothing to do with it and she doesn't want to...
But in that case, she would have remembered the attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying either way she wouldn't know that he was the one who attacked her. I'm just wondering if it's her thing to keep it to herself or if she just forgot that it actually happened.
Yeah, because you did say it was like I don't know, it was a nightmare, but you can't really tell if she's... Before, I was like, does she not remember? I don't know. It seems like, I guess she didn't get a good look at him, but I'd be a little more on edge if I'd just been, like, brutally, like, had my arm ripped open. Seems a little crazy. Anyway, I liked the episode. I'm liking the way the show's going. Yeah, I hope they don't get too cliche with it, with the whole, like, Jungian stuff, because although it is really in-depth, it's also used, like, in most things, in like, a lot of different stuff. So... I hope that they go a cool direction with it, but we'll see. Either way, visually it's awesome. The music is great. The sound design's fucking incredible so far, and I'm liking it. And I just noticed the camera movements. So like whenever they're just like holding a shot, they're just subtly, way more subtly than you could pick up on a first watch because I didn't notice until now. But when we just rewatched the scene, it like is just so slowly. It moves like a millimeter over the course of this shot, like where it's on the window, and then. When it's just the shot down the middle and then it's him on one side and then her on the other side, they add motion, not just like because it's if you think about if you're in a 3D like software, you can have it so that it like looks around and kind of pans around. It was moving like a handheld camera and going up and down and shit. Like they have really complex motion that they're
which is a really
simulating
smart
camera
to
like
do
handheld
if you're
camera.
Already using 3D and like you can use it to the fullest extent.
That's using
you
it
might
to the
as well
fullest
do
extent. Yeah. So there you go. Alrighty. See you guys in the next one. Hope you subscribe. Get a week ahead on Patreon, but we hope you subscribe and like the video. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye. Thank you to all of our patrons, especially those in the Student Council.
Zenge,
John Ortega,
Aurora,
Lewis,
Christian Bay,
Kage Uzumaki,
Dreadful XR,
Xiao Lao,
Brian,
Handicap Bonkai,
D23L,
Charles Liu,
Jude Caspino Buford,
Nick Psycho,
Michael Wells,
King Mr. Mew,
Rifleman Z51,
Thelmus Celetius,
Brandon Bruce,
Yankee,
Vanonian,
Yuki Ali,
Mord Tarragon,
Josh Carey Gray,
Jordan Agnew,
Lolly Convict,
Redacted,
Zachary Porth,
Mohammed Burnham Ahmed,
Michael E. Zabel,
Callum Forsyth,
Nicholas Woody,
Soma Yukahara,
Dogs Free,
It's Your Boy Dom,
Christian Nielsen,
Phantom,
Quant Tuggle,
Proyectos Informatica,
Sugar Daddy Alex,
Tara,
Hunter Wayne Germany. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.